Puberty is a transition period where they transit from childhood to adulthood. Changes occurring during pregnancy. They increase in growth. Growth spurt is there's rapid increase in growth that is happening 2 years earlier in girls. Girls are more mature at same age boys in 12, 10, 12 ages. Secondary sexual characteristics are appearing, they become fertile, psychological changes are going parallel. See, what are the biological effects of puberty? So, we see because of these changes, behavior changes, emotional well-being, health, changes in behavior and emotions are due to mainly oxytocin in female, vasopressin in males, that is from evidence, and other changes due to estrogen and progesterone. What are the physical changes in adolescent? We will see. What are the emotional and psychological changes in adolescent? What are the social changes in adolescent? As a category of workers or officers working with adolescents and providing them the services, we should know what are these changes, because for us it may be a minor thing, but for adolescents that may be an issue. Even normal things, they will think they are having a problem, but they don't like to come to our services. So, biological changes are like this. We will compare pubertal changes, physical development in females and males. Female growth spurt occur 10 to 12 years. It sees about 17, 19 years. Boys, this spurt is happening 2 years later, 12 to 14 years. It stops around 20 years. They both gain weight. Development of breast starts at 12 to 18 years. It goes up to 18 years. These are average periods that may change. Testicles and scrotum start to enlarge around 9 years, followed by lengthening of penis, and adult sizes are achieved by 17 and 18 years. That is changes in boys. And in addition to that, there's different change in voice in boys. Female pubic hair, armpit hair, leg hair start to grow at 9 to 10 years and reach adult pattern by 13 to 14 years. Same thing happening in boys. In addition, they are getting facial hair. This start bit later, 12 years, and reach up to adult pattern by 17 to 18 years. Menarche, that is first menstruation, generally occurs 2 years after early breast changes. One first thing start is most of the time early breast changes. They may differ. Then appearance of pubic hair, then menarche, first menstrual period. So usually society identify puberty with the development of breast and menarche in girls. What about boys? It is identified from enlargement of testes and nocturnal emission. That means emission of sperm while they are sleeping. What is menarche? This is first menstrual cycle, as you all know. Regular change occurs in uterus and ovaries that make pregnancy possible. If ovum is released and it meets with a sperm, the pregnancy is possible. Menstruation occurs due to shedding of endometrium in case pregnancy didn't occur. The growth, height and weight increase. Almost 50% of adults' weight is gained during this period, adolescent. Bone density also increased. This is promoted by estrogen and androgens. Closure of epiphysis of the bones are occurring. This is promoted by estrogen. Changes in pace and bone structures are happening. This is the growth related changes, and height also increase in adolescent. Girls, height increase up to 25 centimeters from their previous height. Boys, it is up to 28 centimeters. These are rough figures actually. Now we will see what are the cognitive development happening. Yeah, why it is important that we should know the cognitive development? Because the reasons for their behavior, their decision making, why we should improve their life skills are because of this pattern of cognitive development. You see the picture of a neuron. You all are familiar. Bottom picture is the connection between two neurons. So that is neural transmission is happening. The messages are coming. Brain consists of lot of neurons. They are electrically excitable. See from the arrow that dendrites, filaments, which are branches like a branches of tree. That brings the message to cell body of the neuron. Axon, this long one, it is covered by a white sheet that is called myelination. Myelination facilitates the electrical transmission happening. It accelerates it. Gray matter, brain is having white matter and gray matter. Gray matter we find neural cell bodies, that's the main part of the cell, axon terminals and dendrite terminals, dendrite parts, as well as nerve synapses. Synapses are connections. White matter is having bundle of axons. They are called myelinated. They are usually myelinated. So, adolescent brain development, we should understand very well what is adolescent brain development. Pubertal hormones are acting on this procedure. Overproduction of gray matter takes place with rapid increase of connection between brain cells in late childhood, that means early adolescent. These connections among neurons are not, if some connections are not used much, they atrophy, while the connections used are strength. This process is called pruning. We use it or lose it. Actually, this is very important where we will have to develop our brain development. It begins from the back of the brain, proceed forward. Last part to develop is prefrontal cortex, where we take rational decision making as adolescents. Not adolescent, adults. So adolescents are lacking it. So these are the red colored area is prefrontal cortex. You can see the areas of brain. And you might have heard about limbic system. In adolescence, limbic system is very well developed. Prefrontal cortex, where we should use for decision making, is still under construction. So, adolescents depend on decision making on this limbic system. Limbic system is well developed in them. Limbic system include hypothalamus, hippocampus, amygdala and several other nearby areas. Limbic system is actually responsible for pressure seeking, reward processing, emotional responses. They get aggression, impulses, sleep regulation. Emotions can lead to impulsive behavior, but their prefrontal cortex is not developed. They don't have break. There is no place to decide, now you stop this. So that is why they go for risky behaviors. This explains very well that adolescent behavior and impulsive actions. So actually we must help adolescents to develop these capacities. Those who exercise the brain by learning to order their thought, understand abstract concept, control their impulses. So we have, as adults, should guide them for this. They are laying neural foundation that will serve for entire life within this period. All above changes are essential for the development of coordinated thought, action and behavior. So we have to help them to develop their decision making capacities, planning capacities. We have to give opportunities for them. So what is abstract thinking and concrete thinking? That's a concept. Concrete thinking is we see the superficial thing and take the decisions. That is what is happening in early adolescence. Abstract thinking is, you might have heard about the abstract maths and all. It is also referred as non-verbal reasoning, visual reasoning, abstract math reasoning. These are the meaning. It refers that one's skill to draw inferences, considering the reasons, root causes, why this is happening, and analyze the information involving object, images, spaces, numbers, and going for decision. This abstract thinking is necessary. Abstract reasoning analyze the situation logically, cause and effect, entertain hypothetical scenarios. If this is done, this will happen like that, developing hypotheses. And to be able to generalize, in one instance, generalize to other instance. Use symbols imaginatively and also consider about their future, assess alternatives and personal goals. For that, abstract thinking is necessary. When they are getting all, we have to guide them to develop abstract thinking, and that component should be developed. Cognitive competence we will discuss as a summary. It is reasoning effectively, problem solving, abstract thinking, what we have explained, ability to reflect and see the past experiences and reflect, planning for future. So you see the causes, what will happen if we do this, we see the alternatives, and like that. Moral development is another important component within this period. Development of appreciation of values and go for decent behavior. Cognitive development in part lays foundation for moral rationalization. If cognitive development is well, moral development is facilitators. That include honesty, pro-social behaviors such as helping others, volunteering, caring for others. These are moral values. Adults are expected to facilitate this. As adults, parents, teachers, and all adults should be role models. If we are doing wrong things, adolescents also are identified as the correct thing. Now we will discuss about emotional development. In today's world, it is very much necessary. So, what is emotional development? Emotional development in establishing genuine and rational sense of identity in context to relating others, learning to cope with stress and managing emotions. So, establishing genuine rational sense of identity in context of relating to others, learning to cope and managing emotions. That is emotional development. Social development, they have to interact with the community. So what are the social development? So they are end of the adolescent is characteristic by social role transition. They go in the past, in hunter's age, if a girl become attain menarche, next year she will be pregnant, she will be married and have a child. So adolescent age is very much limited. Now today, after menarche, they do education, they do higher education, and it will take 10 to 14 years for them to become adult, marry, employ, and do childbearing. So several needs exist for this period. This is what I have explained. Currently, puberty is occurring at an early age. Why? Than past? Because childhood hygiene, nutrition, and health are comparatively good today. And extension for education and employment lead to prolonged adolescent of pubertal period. But there are needs for care, development, and everything. In social development, building relationship and peer appreciation we have to discuss. Building relationships with family, peers, school, work, community are important. Peer, they try to escape from the parents. They think the parents are restricting them too much. They don't know. We are the people who know. And more freedom and company of peers. They like to be with peers. Difficult to resist peer pressure. If peers are asking you to take drug, go for unsafe sexual behaviors, they try it. Because they, even though they don't want, they have less ability to resist. That is why we should develop life skills of how to say no for adolescent. So family has a strong role, influence. So family should communicate more with the adolescent, see, be closer to them within this period, and work with them. Now media, social media, everything is there. Exposure is increased. There are electronic media, electronic appliances are there. Nowadays, online activities are going there. These have positive effect as well as many negative effect if they use it uh, uh, improperly, or social interactions will be limited to this media. Now we will come to behavior change. Almost all adolescents show some behavior change. They are self-concerned, feeling uneasy, anxious about changes. They will compare their breast development, testis development with friends, and they think they are not normal. Like that, they have several issues. Getting closer to peer is one thing. Argues for sake of arguing. Without any reason, they try to argue with adult. Constantly finding fault with adult. Being over dramatic sometimes. Jumping into conclusion, making wrong decisions. All these are there within this adolescent period. Actually, in early adolescent. Peer groups becoming a safe space, safe refuge for them. They like to be with peers. Early adolescent, these peer relationships are non-romantic friendships. Members of the peer group often try to behave in the same way. That is what is there in mid-adolescent, and thereafter romantic relationships also start. Late adolescent, they try to establish sexual identity and express and respond to sexual advances. This is like how they react with, relate with peers.